From a band of Floridian car thieves that learned why you shouldn't run from police, and a failed high-speed pit maneuver that left this police SUV on its roof, to a grumpy old man who decided to back over a police cruiser, and a runaway semi-truck in Utah that smashed through a busy intersection. Here are 10 of the craziest moments caught on police dashcam. Tooele, Utah is a quiet little nook about 40 minutes outside of Salt Lake City. It's home to about 35,000 people who aren't used to making headline news. But all that changed on November 3rd of 2023 when a runaway semi-truck barreled through the downtown area. CCTV cameras from around the city captured the semi's destructive journey. The 26-year-old driver was behind the wheel with no brakes. All he could do was avoid as many cars as possible, but that was easier said than done. Cameras outside the Tooele County Emergency Management Center catch the truck heading north on Main Street. To avoid traffic, the driver pulls onto the sidewalk as he passes the post office. Thankfully, nobody was walking at the time. The next time we see the truck, it's blowing past Big 5 sporting goods. Somehow, our driver makes it another 1.2 miles before the cameras pick him up again. This time, he's not so lucky. He clips a car as he blows through the intersection of Main and 1000th North, right outside the local Starbucks. Finally, the driver veers off the road and crashes into the Tooele Motor Company's parking lot. The cab catches fire, but he makes it out okay. By some miracle, everybody made it out alive that day. While it didn't end pretty, the whole thing could have been much worse. It was August 12th of 2018. Police in Greenfield, Wisconsin are pursuing a 26-year-old man with little regard for the speed limit. Jorge Ornelas of Milwaukee was originally stopped for speeding, but he didn't plan on sticking around for a ticket. He took off with officers right behind him. At one point, police flagged him going 112 miles per hour in a 35 mile per hour zone. Greenfield police needed to get this maniac off the road ASAP. Unfortunately, reckless drivers like Jorge have little regard for civilian life. He weaves between traffic while one of our pursuing officers tries to avoid other cars. He hits the gas and puts some distance between himself and the officer. He hangs a sharp left turn onto another busy road, and our pursuing officer nearly loses him. For some reason, Ornelas decided to make a U-turn, allowing our squad car to catch up. He hits speeds over 70 miles per hour. He passes through an intersection with no regard for anyone else. Our officer knows this chase has to end, so he goes for everyone's favorite tactic, the pit maneuver. Unfortunately, this pit doesn't go as planned.
ABS 8549, do we have that? Roll over, squad, on Loomis. Send the fire department right away. It's going to be in front of the Blocky. It's a squad rollover 167.
Thankfully, his fellow officers were right behind when the SUV flipped over. They pried the door open and pulled him to safety. According to the police department, he didn't suffer any life-threatening injuries. As for Ornelas, the police abandoned the pursuit after the SUV flipped. But that doesn't mean he got away with it. They caught up with him later that day, and he was arrested for reckless driving and injuring an officer. July 9th of 2020, Little Rock, Arkansas. State Trooper Rodney Dunn has just clocked a red SUV doing 84 in a 70 mile per hour zone. He flips on his lights and begins chasing the vehicle. Then, something very odd happens. The driver, Janice Harper, slows down and puts her hazard lights on instead of pulling over. That's when Trooper Dunn ends the chase right then and there.
Okay, did they hit the inside wall?
Trooper Dunn spins around to inspect the flipped car. Smoke rises from the undercarriage, and you can see where the airbags are deployed inside. Dunn calls for EMS before he pulls over to check on the driver. Then, he learns how grave a mistake he may have made.
Are you the only one in the vehicle?
Yes.
Okay.
Pregnant.
Well, ma'am, you've got to pull over when we stop.
I had my flash
It doesn't matter,
on.
ma'am. Come on
I
out.
feel like it was safe.
I've got an ambulance coming for you.
Oh my gosh. Thought it would be safer to wait until the exit.
No, ma'am. You pull over when law enforcement stops you, okay? You were running 84 miles an hour, and I'm trying to get you to stop. And then when I pulled up alongside of you, you saw I was a state trooper. You looked over at me.
Because
and you
I
kept going.
barely see.
Let's go over here.
Harper claims she wanted to pull over but didn't think it was safe. She knew an exit was coming up where she and Dunn would have more room. Trooper Dunn argues that she should have pulled over anyway. Thankfully, Harper only sustained minor injuries and her baby was okay. But her fight wasn't over. She turned around and sued Trooper Dunn, claiming he didn't have to ram her car. According to Harper, she was going to take the Vandenberg Boulevard exit, which was only a mile away. Ultimately, the Arkansas State Police settled the lawsuit with Harper, saying Trooper Dunn executed a negligently performed pit maneuver which flipped the woman's vehicle and placed her life and the life of her unborn child at risk. According to reports, Harper's lawsuit led to changes in pit maneuver policies used by the Arkansas State Police. It was May 23rd of 2008. 70-year-old Henry Raskin is having a bad morning. He had been pulled over for speeding after an officer in Buffalo Grove, Illinois, clocked him going 58 in a 35. Henry was a little upset. He didn't understand why the officer was giving him a ticket, even though he was clearly speeding. Meanwhile, the officer tried to remain as calm as possible. He told Henry if he had a problem, he could take it up with the chief. Well, Henry decided to take it up with the hood of the officer's car.
That's the safest way to proceed, okay? Conversation's over. Okay, have a better day. Be careful pulling out, okay?
For some reason, Henry steps on the gas while his Toyota Camry sits on the police cruiser. Maybe he was trying to get off and run away from this embarrassing situation. According to reports, the back left tire of Henry's car broke through the windshield and came 6 inches from the officer's face. At one point, you can hear the officer say, "Turn the car off," to which Henry responds, "The whole thing? No, sir, just the part that's in my windshield, thanks." While nobody got hurt, Henry did get reckless driving added to his speeding ticket. May 19th of 2021. 5 Florida juveniles and a stolen black SUV were caught trying to steal another car. Fort Lauderdale police responded to a call around 7 a.m. The kids had tried breaking into a garage, but the owner caught them. They fled, but not before the owner got a good look. An APB went out on a black Infiniti QX60. Police spotted the car and tried to pull them over, but the driver refused. Instead, he decided to play a little Grand Theft Auto, leading police on a high-speed chase down Interstate 95. Chaos ensues as a suspect rolls out the back window. Police have no way of knowing if these kids are armed either. Everyone approaches with their weapons drawn. The first suspect is handcuffed and hauled away. Another came out the back window, but we never see them on camera. At one point, an officer says all suspects are out of the vehicle. We can assume they're handcuffed on the other side of the car. Thankfully, nobody was seriously injured during the crash. All 5 youths were brought to Joe DiMaggio Children's Hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. All 5 were charged, but because they're minors, their names and the nature of those charges have not been released. September 4th of 2023 began as an average night in Pulaski County, Arkansas. Trooper Duncan was out on patrol when a call came in about a speeding vehicle. But this wasn't any old car. It was a Dodge Challenger RT Scat Pack. It's unclear if the speedster was driving the 2023 model, but if he was, his 485 horsepower engine would easily leave police in the dust. Trooper Duncan spotted the Scat Pack zipping past an 18-wheeler. He flipped on his lights and climbed to 130 miles per hour. But even then, he couldn't catch up with the Challenger. Luckily, an officer up ahead still had the car in his sights. Trooper Duncan climbs past 150 miles per hour, and he's still no match for the Scat Pack's V8 engine. Meanwhile, the driver is hitting speeds well over 170 and 180. It's unclear how the police kept following him even without a visual. Perhaps they relied on tips from passing truck drivers, or they just got lucky. Eventually, Trooper Duncan catches up with the Challenger stuck between 2 trucks while taking exit 40 east to Memphis. The chase was back on, but it didn't last very long. The Challenger peeled away and Trooper Duncan lost him again. He turns off his lights and sirens, deciding the pursuit is too dangerous to continue. While heading toward the next exit, he spots the Challenger again. This time, it's going the speed limit and attempting to blend in with traffic.
Hey.
Hands! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Get out of the car! Lay down on the ground! 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 Put your hands behind your back!
The driver was just a young kid on a cross-country joyride. He'd allegedly evaded police in other states as he made his way east. But, thanks to Trooper Duncan's determination, this daredevil was taken off the road. February 23rd of 2016. An agent with the Oklahoma Bureau of Narcotics was parked alongside a construction zone of I-40. His radar gun clocked a 2012 gray Ford Focus going 61 miles per hour in a 55 mile per hour zone. Our agent may have let him go, but this was an active construction zone. Speeding could easily get someone hurt, or worse. The officer tails the car for about 90 seconds before initiating a stop. The driver, Andrew Sawyers, pulls over, and all seems normal at first. But when the agent approaches the car, he notices something he doesn't like in the passenger's seat: empty beer bottles. Our officer tells Andrew that he's only going to issue a warning for speeding, but he'd like Andrew to wait by the cruiser while he runs his information. As Andrew gets out, our eagle-eyed officer sees him slip something under his jacket.
Just go ahead and have a seat for me right back there on the passenger side, please. Hey, sir, what did you put in your pocket before when you were getting out? Not that pocket in here. You don't have any weapons or anything on you, do you?
No, sir.
No guns, knives?
So,
No, don't.
Andrew pulls a weapon from his waistband, but drops it immediately. He pleads over and over, "I just want to go home, I just want to go home." Finally, he decides running is his only option. Somehow, he withstands a taser, hops in his car, and speeds away, but not before accidentally popping his trunk.
Go, go, go! You got the radio, go.
Officers tail Andrew for about 20 seconds before attempting a precision immobilization technique, also known as a pit maneuver. It was well executed. Andrew just got lucky.
We're at 80 miles an hour. Stop here, 108. Headquarters, we're back at it. Still eastbound. Come on.
Clear. I need a vehicle description. I want to look at return on how to open doors.
Andrew climbs to over 100 miles per hour as he flees across Canadian County. When our officer finally catches up to him, he displays how badly he just wants to go home.
Do you still have the gun or do you take it?
He missed it. Last couple of vehicles on the shoulder. Combat primary.
Traffic gets a little tight up ahead. Andrew's already shown he's willing to take this chase off-road. Let's see if he does it again.
They're gonna get that outside lane. All this traffic's gonna block up there on the shoulder, guys. You're right. Up on the city being by, they tried to ram my vehicle. They missed me, but they tried to ram it.
Miraculously, he makes it through without hitting any civilians or police. He keeps running for about 8 minutes before he makes his final grave mistake. While trying to use an off-ramp to evade the cops, Andrew loses control and skids into the trees.
Take exit to 120, 132, Oklahoma City. Okay, they just crashed out.
Apparently, Andrew wasn't alone. He had a dog in the back seat that escaped after the crash. It ran off into the woods, and police weren't able to catch it. As for Andrew, they caught him red-handed. It turns out the pistol he dropped when the chase began wasn't the only weapon he was carrying. Police found 2 more weapons and a few knives hidden in the car. If we had to guess, that's why Andrew decided to run. Thankfully, nobody was hurt during this high-speed chase. Officers pursued him for 25 miles as he raced down I-40. He nearly made it across the county before finally crashing. Andrew just wanted to go home that day. Instead, he went directly to jail. Now, not all police chases end with someone in handcuffs. In fact, not all police chases have to do with human beings. It was Mother's Day of 2016. Rookie Officer Robert Moore got a call he never expected. There was a baby cow running loose in the street. As funny as it sounded, Officer Moore knew it was an issue. The little calf could easily hurt itself or damage someone's car. Officer Moore arrived as the cow careened into a Jeep before sprinting up the road.
300, I just had one run into my truck. Okay, where are you trying to go? Where are you at, buddy?
The trick is trying to stop the calf without hurting it. They'll never stop it with their hands. All they can do is try to corral it with their squad cars. As you're about to see, that's easier said than done. This cow was a slippery little fella.
This Main Street, see if we can cut it back. There you go, just like that. Well, he's dead. Over down the highway.
The calf escapes and the chase is back on. They try using a wall as a natural barrier, but the calf slips away once more. The chase lasted roughly 15 minutes and covered a little over half a mile. The little guy eventually tuckered out and wandered into the waiting arms of its owner. Thankfully, no baby cows were harmed in the making of this video. The calf did cause some damage while rampaging through town. It dented a few cars, and one of the police cruisers lost its tail light. If you're driving around Arkansas and see a tinted Corvette with vanity law enforcement tags, let the driver know the police would like a word with him. On August 23rd of 2022, an Arkansas officer observed a silver Corvette with illegally tinted windows. He thought the driver would comply, but this hotshot had other ideas.
White shirt.
Our officer's squad car was no match for that high-powered engine. The driver vanished as soon as they took that right turn. He could have easily gone down any one of those side streets. Our officer patrols the streets for about 3 minutes, trying to catch a glimpse of the suspect's vehicle. Another officer joins the pursuit, and both hit a stroke of good luck. The Corvette comes racing around a corner and screams down a residential street. To his credit, whoever's behind the wheel is one heck of a driver. The chase is back on. He was gone again as quickly as he reappeared. Once it started raining, officers decided that it wasn't worth pursuing the suspect's vehicle. What's odd about this whole story is the Corvette's license plate. The LO you see on the side is a special plate issued to members of law enforcement. That said, the driver doesn't have to be a cop to have that plate. According to a state website, any motor vehicle owner may apply for the Arkansas Municipal Police Association license plate. This driver either supports the police or just likes rubbing his driving skills in their face. June 27th of 2023. Arkansas Police Sergeant Jeff Preston is in pursuit of a speeding vehicle heading southbound on I-530. They blow past another officer parked on the side of the road, who immediately joins the pursuit. They're chasing 21-year-old Casey Register, who was behind the wheel of a Lincoln MKZ hybrid. Someone called 911 to report the car speeding near Pine Bluff, Arkansas. Casey cared little for human lives as he weaved between cars and topped over 100 miles per hour.
13, call us up.
10-4 speed at 104, approaching 42 south.
Back up.
That's Sergeant Preston in the SUV up ahead. We're in Trooper Terrell Pratt's squad car as he tries to keep up with Casey. He watches as Preston attempts a pit maneuver, but nearly runs himself off the road. This chase still had a few more miles to go.
Let me around, sorry. Going out of the goddamn
Sergeant Preston wants to end this chase ASAP. That's when he sees an opportunity for another pit and takes it.
Yeah, just north of 73, slow down, but bring it up, please.
Casey was arrested and booked for reckless driving and running from the police. It's unclear why he was running in the first place. If he had just pulled over, he would have spent the night in his bed instead of a jail cell. If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching and be sure to tune in next time.